Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all the people from the part of the world you are joined. And I thank you all for taking out time and joining us today. My name is Mohit Sharma, Chair of IIRSM India Branch, and I'm very pleased and excited to welcome our speaker Raza Four from Be Limitless. Like, her extraordinary qualities are impossible to convey in the words, but yeah, few to spotlight, few to share with you all. Like, she's the renowned speaker and exceptionally charismatic personality. She's a leadership and confidence coach, and she's on a special mission. Like, I would say, she's working towards inspiring and empowering ambitious career women to create a life by their own design, to succeed professionally with confidence, ease, and happiness. So this was a short introduction about our speaker. Besides this, yeah, there are lots of things which again, like, the words would be not enough to describe about her. And before handing over to the speaker, I will just like to update you about our branch, IIRSM India Branch. On coming 27th July, we have again webinar on HOPS, Human and Organizational Performance, by Norman Smith, Group HCCQ Director, Subsea 7. And beside this, like in past month, we have welcomed IISM and 1% Safer. They have welcomed the successful applicants over the 1% Safer bursary scheme, over the global virtual celebrations. And around 40 successful applicants were there from across the 5 nations: India, Egypt, Ghana, Nigeria, and Pakistan. And they have been entitled for a year affiliate members. So, and lastly, don't forget to follow on our LinkedIn page to get all the latest informations about the webinars and all the happening events we are conducting over a period of time. So with this, I would like to welcome our speaker, and over to you, Raza.
Thank you so much, Mohit, for this presentation. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. It's so good to be with you. I don't see any of you. I think all the cameras off, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm going to
you can't see them. Like, yeah, it's all the cameras are off. Yeah.
No problem. So today we're going to talk about emotions. We're going to talk a lot about emotions, and it's so important. So I'm going to start off by asking you, how are you doing today? And I would like you to write it in the chat, to write how you doing today, really. And I would like to see your answer before we start. So how are you doing today?
We've got one answer saying happy, which is great.
Great.
Very good.
Great.
And a great. Oh, you can see them now, can you?
Yes, now I can see them. It's amazing. We're going to go to the next slide, Julie, please. Doing okay. I'm good and cool. Excellent. So you see, very often when we're asked this question every single day, especially at work, and we're like, how you doing? And we're like, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm good. And I'm happy to see the answers that we have here. That is happy, very good, great, cool. Because normally what we tend to answer is really, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm okay. And there's a variety of emotions that we can feel. And with the research, we can see there's like, some mention 27 types of emotions, some mention 36 types of emotions that we can go through. But then what we decide to do is that we box ourselves in the I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm good. And this is very dangerous actually for us. This is what causes a lot of illnesses. So we need to remember that our life is actually our experiences, right? We remember our life through our experiences. And when we remember any experience, we remember an emotion. This is what we remember from our life. So I want you to go in your mind right now and just remember a souvenir that you had, a souvenir of a vacation, an amazing vacation that you had, and try to remember how it was. I'm very confident at 100% you're going to remember emotions. You might be saying to yourself something, oh my God, that was so exciting. I felt free, I felt happy. So you're going to remember your experiences of life through your emotion. So can you see how important emotions are and the place they have in our life? So it's very important that we do not remember our life with the I'm fine, I'm good, I'm okay. All right. And you can ask yourself that question. Like, do I really want to remember my life saying I'm fine? It was fine. My experience was okay. I don't think so. Like myself, I don't want to be there. And I'm not going to go through all the researches because there's a lot of research on emotions. You can Google them if you want, but I'm not going to go through all the researches out there. What I want to do in this presentation is really to give you the knowledge and the tools so you can really apply it in your life and make sure you have a healthier life and a healthier work environment through the way you'll be able to really understand the meaning of your emotions and use them to the best benefits for you. So, you know, if you master your emotions, you will be able to give space to your emotions. And by doing that, you will be giving space to others to live their emotions as well. And that will create the healthy work environment. And we're going to go deeper in this later on. So make sure that you don't box yourself. Don't box yourself in 2-3 emotions of just being good or just being fine. Make sure that you don't box others in these emotions as well, because, you know, we're triggered in our environment, and this is how we live our emotions. We get triggers from our environment. We get triggers from other people. And so we live the emotions through that. Or we can decide and we can choose to tap in to any emotions that we want to live. And really, truly, you can decide which emotions you want to live by most of the time on a regular basis. And imagine if you can instantly really decide the emotions you want to live by, how the quality of your life will be. You're no longer kind of a prisoner or a victim of the events happening around you, of what people say or don't say. You don't live your emotion through them. You will live your emotion through what you decide and choose. So by doing that and having good quality of emotions that you live by, you're impacting the quality of your life. Because this is the experience that you're creating. Every single moment you're creating an experience, you're creating emotions that you will remember after in your life. We'll go to the next slide. Perfect. So you see, we have here that, you know, different eyes see different things, because we're going to get deeper in the understanding of our emotions and how we get to live them. So how emotions are created, because most of the time we're not aware of that. We're like, I just don't feel good, or I feel stressed, or I feel happy. Normally, when we feel happy, we know why we feel happy. But with the stress and anxiety and all of that, we kind of sense it, but we don't know where is it really coming from. So you see, emotions are created by thoughts. And we have over 50,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day. We cannot control all of our thoughts, for sure. Some people mention like you need to control your thoughts, but you cannot control 60,000 thoughts that you're having a day. But what you can do is that, you see, when you have all of these thoughts, at some point, you will hold on a thought that you have. You'll hold on this thought and you try to, explain it, put some words on it. And when you do this, you're giving it a meaning. Once you give a meaning to that thought, you're creating the emotion. Every single time that you're having a thought that you hold on, you give it words, you give it a meaning through those words, then you create your emotions. Next, we're going to do a little exercise right now. And so on this exercise, you're going to see how different people, we're going to go through 4 different scenarios, and how one situation, the same one, with different thoughts, different words, different meaning, will give different emotion and a completely different actions and results. Because every action that we're taking, every result that we're having in our life is directly related to the emotion that we're in at that moment. And I'm very confident, if you remember, you have some times where you were like, oh, I've crushed it, that was amazing, I did so well. And if you remember the state that you were in when you did that, you will see that you were in a high vibrant emotions. You were living positive emotions. And this is why you got great results. And every time that you were like, that was really not good, I missed on this, I don't know what happened there, it's because you were in a lower state and you had more negative emotions, or you were very stressed. And so you had poor results. So the impact of our emotion is really amazing on our life, and we really need to master it. So let's go deep dive in these in this exercise here. So let's say we're going to Disneyland and we're going to go on this beautiful roller coaster, and we're happy, we're excited, we get there. And so the first person look at it, and once they're there and she look at the roller coaster and says, oh my God, I'm not sure I'll be able to do it. Start doubting, questioning it. And by saying that, she's like, oh, I feel a bit uncomfortable, I'm not sure. The action, she might decide to say, well, you know what, I'm a bit uncomfortable, it's okay, I'll do it anyways. And she might do it. The result she will get will depend on if she said with this is uncomfortable, this is uncomfortable, this is, and building on that thought of on the emotion and on the thought that it's uncomfortable and I'm not sure about that, she might transform the doubt, anxiety to fear and scale it up and not have a good moment. If she says, I'm a bit uncomfortable, but I think I'm gonna enjoy this anyways. If the uncomfort, if we get to lower the emotion of uncomfort, she might enjoy it. So it's all going to depend on the emotion and the intensity of that emotion at that moment. Next, the second person will get to that roller coaster and she will be, oh, this is a big roller coaster. It seems so cool. Actually, this is not the next one. We need to go before that. And before that, there we go. So this is a big roller coaster. And she's like, oh my God, this goes way too fast. It's for sure I'm gonna throw up. And she's like, it's for sure I'm gonna throw up. It's going way too fast. And she's like building on this, and these words create stress, create anxiousness. And with this anxiousness, she might say, well, you know what, worst case scenario, I'm gonna throw up, let's do this. It's gonna be an experience, and she might do it. If she let go of the anxiousness, she's gonna enjoy it. If not, for sure, she's gonna throw up, not feel good, and she'll be like, this is the last time I'm gonna do this. So you can already see how the same situation, a different thought, a different meaning that we're giving to it, the emotion that we have will determine the action and the result that you will get. The next slide, same situation. It's a big roller coaster. But then the thought is, it's not even doubt, it's not a bit of anxiousness, it's I'm gonna die. Like it's fear, it's I'm scared, I'm freaking out. That person will not get in there. She will take, the action will be, I'm not gonna do this roller coaster, and there's no experience of a roller coaster in there. The fourth person might say, well, yeah, this is a big roller coaster, next, but she might look at it and say, oh my God, this seems so cool. I feel excited, I'm gonna feel freedom, let's go, I'm gonna do this. Well, the action will be, I'm so excited, let's do this, and she's gonna do it joyfully, playfully, like a kid, and will most probably love the experience. She's gonna live this experience, enjoy it. So see, the thought that we choose to occupy our mind and the words that we use will determine our emotion, and the intensity of that emotion will determine our action and the results that we will get. Now, there are ways to control our thoughts, and it's just to be aware of them. And we're going to learn a bit later how any emotion that you have, how you can dissociate yourself from that emotion so you can master it, so you can control it. And we're going to go through some meanings, what every emotion, most of the negative emotions that we live daily, what do they mean? And what can I do with them? And how I can change them. But then we need to know, how do we translate this, what we're experiencing right now, how that translates at work is, if, you know, and the way it translates at work is that something will happen and you'll give it a meaning. Next slide. You'll give it a meaning and you will feel an emotion and you act upon that emotion. So the results that you're gonna get at your work, in your work environment, are deeply related to the emotions that you're living in. And every action that you're taking, the quality of the actions that you're taking are related to the quality of your emotion and the state that you're in at that moment. So you see how important understanding and mastering our emotion is. You can completely change the results you have right now in your life and in your work by mastering your emotions. So, you know, if you are capable of putting yourself in a good state, living high vibrational emotions, positive emotions on a regular basis, we need to have consistency in there. I'm going to ask you a question. If you have that consistency to be in these high vibrant emotions regularly, do you think you'll be doing a better job? Put it in the chat. Do you really think if you are living in joy and confidence and happiness, do you think you'll be able to do a better job? Write it down in the chat. I really want to see your answer. Do you believe that by being in a better state of mind, of emotions, of being, you will be doing a better job? Do you think you'll be doing your best? Do you think that you'll be able to avoid most accidents? Let me know in the chat. I'm gonna wait for some of your answers.
think we have a delay. I'll read out the answers I can see. I've got yes, certainly, yes, 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 I do believe, and yes.
Amazing. Because yes, absolutely, you will be getting better results. Absolutely. We're going to look at, you see, a work environment, there are 3 elements for it to be considered a healthy work environment. The first one is the physical environment, but must be as per health and safety legislation. So this we all know about. But the 2 other elements are directly related to the human being and to how we manage our emotions. Because the second one is supporting healthy lifestyle. And we cannot support a healthy lifestyle if we do not manage our emotion, if we do not give space to live our emotions and create the right organizational and emotional culture. It says it in here. You need, because any culture in any company is created by the humans that are there and the emotion that they are living on a constant basis. If you get into an organization and everyone is stressed out, everyone is pressured, well, this is the emotional culture that you're having. You get in another company and people are passionate and excited, and this is the emotional culture that you're having. So it goes by emotions. And a healthy workplace, so we have 2 of the 3 elements that are directly related to the emotions we're living. Next, what it allows you to do. A healthy workplace will allow you to decrease absenteeism and turnover. We're going to the next slide, please. It will allow you to decrease accidents, illnesses, level of stress and depression, and it will allow you to decrease the use of short and long-term disability. And what it allowed to increase in any organization, we stay on the other side, the slide, please. What it allows you to increase in any organization is health and safety performance, employee satisfaction, employee engagement, productivity, and of course, profits, because you have people who are really engaged, who are doing a better job, there's a better quality, everything becomes better when we live in high vibrational emotions. Next slide. So if we go deeper into understanding, now that we know how important it is and the impact they have on our life, we need to look at our emotions and see that they are not the problem. Most people in my years in human resources and the years that I had as a coach, most people see their emotions, especially the negative emotions that they're living, as being the problem. But our emotions are never the problem. Even if you feel fear, anxiety, guilt, shame, stress, overwhelm, these are only emotions, they are not the problem. Often we identify ourselves with the emotion, and when it is a negative emotion that we're living, we don't want to identify ourselves to that emotion. We don't want to live it. We see it as the problem and we try to repress it. And that creates most problems that we have. That creates the burnouts, the depression, all kind of illnesses and disease in the body, because we're repressing our emotions, the one that we don't want to live by, the one that we see as negative emotions. But in reality, our emotions do not determine who we are. They are only a signal. It's what I like to call our internal GPS. They are only messengers. They do not determine who we are. They are only messengers, and their messages is really like they're there to tell us how things are going, what we need to adjust, what we need to stop doing, what we need to start doing. So we need to listen to the message. We are in the driver's seat. We get these messages we need to look at them, see what's the message, understand the meaning, and act on it in a healthy way. So let's go on the next slide, and we will get into some of the most negative emotions that most people live by on a regular basis. There are many others, but I'm gonna go through 4 of them, the ones that most people live on a regular basis. We're gonna go through the meaning of that emotion and how to handle it. So if we look at frustration, I think every single person have lived frustration at some point in their life. I know I did. And it's normal. Actually, all our emotions are normal because they are only messengers. So let's understand the message of frustration. See, frustration happens when you're getting very close to what you want to achieve, but then something happened and you weren't able to achieve it, or someone said something, it delayed the process, but you were very close and you get frustrated. You're like, I knew I was able to do this. How come it didn't work out? And you get frustrated. Well, the meaning of this frustration is that you're getting very close to achieving what you want to achieve. So what you need to do, as soon as you realize that you are in the frustration mode, become an observer. Instead of saying, I am frustrated, and then you become the emotion, I am frustrated, it's to say, I'm noticing the emotion of frustration. You notice the message. You notice the emotion. Once you do this, you're dissociating yourself from the emotion, and now you have control. You're getting back in the driver's seat. You're no more living the emotion and staying in there. You lived it, you felt it, and now you're dissociating yourself like, okay, I'm noticing that emotion of frustration. Now you get curious about it. I wonder why I sense that. Why is this happening? Why do I feel frustrated? And then you get the answer. Like, I was so close to achieving this project, and I don't know why he decided to do this. Okay, fine. Then you need to ask yourself, what is my part of responsibility of feeling that way? Because it's easy to judge and blame others. It's easy to put the fault on other people. And when you do this, we are giving our power away. We're like, he did that, she did that, my boss decided not to go forward with it right now, so we're delaying it, but this was so important for me. That's fine. What is my part of responsibility in this? Because when you look at what's your part of your responsibility in this, you are capable of seeing some solutions. You're getting back onto what you can control, what you have control over. So once you ask this, go and ask another quality question, which is, what am I missing in here? See the difference between the questions? There are questions that will give you poor emotions, put you in a lousy state, and there are questions that will give you high vibrational emotions, will put you in a better state, that will put you in a state to find opportunities and solutions. So, and remember what we said in the beginning, our thoughts create our emotions, and our thoughts are created by questions. The question you ask yourself are gonna give you thoughts. So what is my part of responsibility of feeling this way? What am I missing in here? What can I do to make it work? And the last sentence in here is extremely important, because if you ask, what can I do to make it work? Only, you're going to have plenty of solution, but it's not necessarily going to be beneficial to everyone. So it's important to ask the question in total, what can I do to make it work in a way that is beneficial to all parties involved? And when you do that, then you're going to start to see opportunities, and you can feel it in your body. Like, when instead of judging and blaming, when you start asking these questions, you'll feel the relief in your body. and you feel that you're actually going to solutions, you're actually going to opportunities. You're moving yourself out of frustration to go towards motivation. So it's important to feel our emotion, but not to stay there, especially the negative emotions. Do not stay in the negative ones. It's important to feel them, understand the meaning, and then ask quality questions to move on to the positive emotions so you can put yourself in a great state and have better results. We're going to go to the second one. Next slide. Thank you. So the second one, we're going to talk about guilt. And guilt is a big one. And I've put it there, both men and women live with guilt, but I've seen more women than men living with guilt, which is being at work and thinking of, oh my gosh, I should be with the kids and all of that, and they feel guilty. Being with the kids and, oh my God, I have so much work to do and I have so many deadlines, and feeling guilty not being at work. So what guilt means, we don't want to stay in that emotion of guilt. Guilt is a killer. So you need to get out of there. Guilt happens when you let someone step on your standards, boundaries, beliefs, or values, and you do not do anything about it, or you step on any of your standards, boundaries, beliefs, or values, and you just don't take action. You just step on them. When you do this, you will feel guilty. And I'm gonna give you an example while we're talking on how to dissolve guilt, how to get out of guilt. So again, instead of saying, I'm guilty of this, and so you are putting this load on your shoulders, you're going to dissociate yourself from guilt and say, I'm noticing the emotion of guilt. You notice the emotion of guilt. Then you get curious about it again. Why do I sense that feeling? Why is it there? Why do I feel guilty? Why do I feel that emotion? And then you're going to have an answer. And for a lot of women that I coach, it was like, yeah, I felt guilty because my boss gave me this at the last minute and I couldn't say no. I just said yes right away. So, but I needed to be with my kids, or, you know, I had something with the family to do, but then I got stuck at work and I felt so guilty about that. Why you sensed that? Why were you guilty? You like your job, you want to do it, you said yes. Well, because I needed really to be with my family and I value my family a lot. So you stepped on your own value. You stepped on your own standards that you had there, which is related to family. So what you need to do once you realize that, don't go in judgment mode. Don't blame yourself. Don't judge yourself. Don't start saying, why have I done that? I should have known better. It's not helping you. Okay, this is not helping you. We don't go into judgment mode. We're going to go and ask, okay, what's my part of responsibility in there? What could have done? Knowing that you've stepped on your value, you know which value that you have stepped on, you need to ask yourself, what can I do to respect this value in the future? Especially when, you know, the situation just happened, you cannot do anything about it, you already said yes, you're stuck in there kind of. Well, don't get stuck in there and stuck in the guilt, because you're not going to do a good job. You're going to be thinking of your family and all of that while trying to accomplish what you need to accomplish, and you're not 100% at work. And when you're with your family, you're not 100% with your family. So what you need to do is really ask yourself, what can I do to respect this value in the future? What can I do? What are the boundaries that I need to put on? And how can I communicate these boundaries in a healthy way so it gets respected? So I respect my value, I respect my boundaries, and I make sure that other people also do respect them. And by having that plan in place, one of the things that could be, well, next time if anything like this happens, I'm not going to say yes right away. I'm going to ask more questions. I'm going to see if is this really an urgency? What's the deadline? Who are the other people that could help out in there? what are the options? I'm gonna say something like, I need to look at my schedule to see if it's possible, or just flat out, I have family engagement, I just can't do it right now, we need to find someone else. So you need to put a plan in place, and once you have that plan in place and you commit to yourself and you're like, okay, this is my plan, this is what I'll do the next time for sure, and I'm committed to respect this value, this standard that I have, the guilt will fade away, because now you have a plan. You've heard the message, you acted on it, there's no more guilt, you can concentrate on yourself, and that's it, then you can continue after. We'll go on the next slide, and we're going to talk about two emotions that I've put together in here because the message of these emotions is the same, and the way to act upon them is the same. So anxiety and fear. And we hear that a lot, and anxiety and fear are responsible of a lot of burnouts, a lot of depressions. So what is really anxiety and fear? It's again a message. When you feel anxious, when you feel fearful, it's because you are rejecting something in the future. So, we all heard about the fight, flight response and all of that, but I'm not going the details of this. I really want you to be able to dissolve anxiety and fear from your life. So what you need to do is really understand that every time you feel anxious, every time you feel fearful, it's because you are rejecting something that you don't want to see it happen in your future. So you need to ask yourself, what am I rejecting? And it's not I'm anxious, I'm fearful. It's I'm noticing the emotion of anxiety. I'm noticing the emotion of fear. It's coming. I feel it. I don't feel comfortable. I'm noticing the emotion of uncomfortable, of anxiety, of fear. So, okay, why do I feel that? Why do I feel that emotion? And ask yourself, what am I rejecting? You're going to know. It might be that, well, I have a lot of anxiety because if I do not finalize that project, I might not get that promotion. And you're rejecting the idea of not getting that promotion, and that is creating you anxiety and stress and fear. So you need to know exactly what is it that you're rejecting. And once you know it, you got to go to the worst case scenario. So what? What would happen if you don't get that promotion? So what? Go to the worst case. If the worst case for you in that example is I might be fired from my job and I'm gonna lose my job and I don't okay, fine. So what? What will you do if that happens? What's your plan if that happens? Once you go to the worst case scenario and you are capable and you're willing to accept that this might happen and it's okay, you're not resisting anymore. And immediately when you stop resisting, when you stop rejecting anything in the future, the anxiety and fear will fade away. They have no control over you. They've done their work. They gave you the message. There's something you have to be careful about. Get your thing and stuff. Either accept it, put a plan in place, know what you want to do, be able to go forward with it, and then that's it. There's no more fear, no more anxiety. So get into accepting the worst case scenario and put a plan in place. What can I do about this situation so I take back control on the things that I have control over, and how I can prepare for myself? You prepare yourself to the best of your abilities, and then you need to just trust that whatever happens, it's going to be okay, and you are capable of handling it. And the anxiousness, the fear will fade away. Next slide. So now that we spoke about all the negative emotions, we're going to go very briefly with the positive emotions. because these positive emotions, actually, you just need to remember a souvenir, a moment where you felt in love, a moment where you desire something so much, a moment of something that you were doing and you were passionate of doing that, a moment where you were really excited in your life, a moment of joy that you lived. And you've got to have faith and cultivate the emotion of faith. And faith is also, you can cultivate it by doing affirmations, or what we call incantations as well. So these 6 emotions are actually the higher vibrational energy emotions. Okay, these emotions will create high energy for you. When you are living in these emotions on a regular basis, you don't have to live all of them every single day. It will be ideal, but if you choose 1 or 2 of them, like, I want to feel joy today and I want to feel passionate. If you do everything with joy, if you decide to do everything with passion, you're going to do everything differently. You're going to have completely different results. How would you show up in your life today if you decide to show up and living the emotions of joy and passion? I'm confident that it's going to be completely different in your life. And you have the choice to go through these emotions. So everything that you live, when you give it a meaning, be very careful. What is the meaning that you're giving to it? So many times, you know, something, an event happens and we give it a bad meaning. I mean, we say, well, he said that because he wanted to hurt me. He might not want it to hurt you. It might be completely something different. We need to make sure that the meaning we're giving to any situation is a meaning that is empowering us. And you get to choose your meaning you're giving to any situation, and you get to choose the emotions you want to live by. You know, some people will live the same situation. We saw it in the roller coaster in a more like playful, funny way, but let's say 2 people who get fired. One will see it, this is the end of the world, it's catastrophe, and like, I don't know what to do, and they lose their power and they go in the emotions of stress and anxiety and might go in depression. And the other person might see it, oh my God, this is great. I'm going to use that opportunity and live on my purpose and do what I would love to do. And like, they put an objective for themselves and they go after it, and they up level their life, their career, in a way that they could have never be able to do if they stayed on that in that job. Same situation, the meaning that you give to that situation will provoke different emotions and will give you completely different results. So get to really, do not repress your emotions. Do not repress them. They are messengers. Listen to the message. Please listen to the message and act upon it and empower yourself. So we're at the end of the presentation. I'm not going to take more time. There's a lot to say on emotions and on all of these topics. If you want to go deeper on all of this, I use a lot this for the healing processes that I do in my coaching. Just let me know or reach out to Julie. She'll give you my coordinates and we can chat. But really take this knowledge and apply it in your life. I really wanted you to have some actions, some information that you can really put into action. It's not just knowledge. Some people would tell you knowledge is power. I do not believe so. I believe that knowledge is potential power. You need to apply this knowledge in your life. Like, you can say, I know a lot of things. Good for you. The thing is just not to know a lot of things, but it's to take that knowledge and apply it and see the benefits in your life. This is your gain. This is what you like, this is how you can change your life to the better. Apply this in your life and start practicing it, start seeing the results so you can up-level your life, your career, and live with high, vibrant emotions and start seeing the benefits of living in these emotions regularly. And by doing that, by holding space to your own emotions, then you will be able to hold space for others to live their emotions. Like, don't go out there and tell people what they need to do. Start by applying it to yourself. This is what we start by us. You change you first, you apply it to yourself. People will see the benefits, they will ask you questions, and then you can give them space, and then you can share your knowledge and make a difference. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I'm ready to take any of your questions.
We do have two questions. One is controlling our emotions. Is it really possible?
Yes, well, actually, it's not, I don't like the word controlling. It's not about controlling the emotion. It's not about boxing the emotion. It's really about understanding its meaning and acting on it. So you need to, a lot of people, when they talk about controlling the emotion, is because, let's say you're having a lot of anxiety and you're like, I'm so anxious. You're living the emotion, you live it in your body, you live the feeling of anxiousness. And you're like, I want to control that because I don't want to live these reactions in my body. It doesn't feel good. But you don't need to control it. You need to let it go. You just need to say, okay, I'm noticing all of this in my body. I'm noticing the emotion of anxiousness. But why do I feel that? There's something that is making me feel anxious. What am I rejecting in my future? Once you get to know what you're rejecting and you accept that whatever happens is going to be okay, you're going to be fine, you are willing to accept any results that you will get, the emotion will just dissipate. We don't need to control them. We just need to understand the meaning and act on it. So it just dissipates, it just goes.
Thank you for that. We've had a question asking if you can share your presentation with the attendees today.
Yes, absolutely. I think, Julie, you're going to send it, or?
Yes, I've got it. I can send it to everyone with your contact details if anyone would like to get in touch.
Absolutely.
We're getting lots of questions through. Let's see how many we can ask. So
That's great. Lots
I've
of
never seen
questions are
so
there.
many questions. So the next question is, what would be an indication of a negative emotion?
Well, it's any emotion that doesn't make you feel good in reality. You know, I don't like the word negative emotion, but this is how we call them to differentiate them from what I call more high vibrational energy emotions. So it's any emotions that will put you in a low level of energy, because our emotions will give us energy. Like if you have problem and you're like, I never have energy, I feel tired all the time. This is because you're living in low levels of emotions, in negative emotions. So if you have a lot of sadness, you have anxiety, you have fear, you're angry, you're frustrated all the time, you're anxious, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed, all of these emotions will lower your level of energy. And so you know that these are more of a negative emotions.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. We're getting lots of comments here and positive comments. Thank you very much. This was the best session I attended this month. Great session, great presentation. Thank you. We've got time to just a couple more questions. So apologies if we can't get to your question. What does work-life balance mean to you?
Well, you know, work-life balance is very different from one person to another. For me, it's more harmony. So it's being able to do all the things that I want to do in my job, in my work, And when I'm there, I'm 100% there. And when I'm with my family, I'm 100% giving it to my family. I do not like to mix both. I used to do this, and it's crazy when you do this. So I really make sure, if you want to have your own work-life balance, just to see what's the best for you. So make sure when you're at work, you're 100% at work, you're doing your best. And when you're with your family, you're 100% with your family, and you need to create real boundaries that works for you. My work-life balance is going to be completely different from anyone else, and my boundaries are going to be completely different from anyone else. You need to figure it out for you. If you want to have guidance in how
Hello, everyone. I'm really sorry we appear to have lost our speaker today, so we'll probably call it to a close there. I'd like to thank everyone for attending. I'd like to thank Raja for the excellent presentation. I will be sending around the presentation slides after the webinar, and I'll also give you her contact details so you can get in touch with her direct about any of the programs she will be running. Mohit, would you like to say some closing words before I shut the webinar down?
Yes, yes, Julie. Like it was really wonderful presentations, and I hope the audience, you all would have enjoyed it. Generally, a common myth exists in that in workplace, that emotion doesn't belong to any work. But now we have heard the presentations, and due to which in work it leads us to mistakenly equate our professionalism, with being stoic or even cold. And that definitely hampers our colleague or all of our stakeholders who are associated with us. But you would have seen in these presentations during the delivery, like there are many solving new way. And this presentation definitely provided us a unique perspective to think, to work on our ideas. So once again, thank you all, and I hope you enjoyed this session. And please don't forget to join our next webinar, which is on 27th July. Thank you. Yes, Julie, we can wind up.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.